Hello student, myself Digant Sakhiwala, I am your science teacher. We will continue our chapter number 9, force and laws of the motion. Okay, last time we learned about the balance force. Under the effect of those force, if the object is in the motion, will remain in the motion, or object is in the rest condition, remain in the rest condition, that is called the balance force. Unbalanced force, under the effect of those force, if the object is in the rest condition, come in the motion, or if the object is in the motion, come in the rest direction or change the velocity, then that is called the unbalanced force. We learn about the inertia. Inertia is the definition of Newton's first law. If the object is in the motion, will remain in the motion, or if the object is in the rest condition, it will remain in the rest condition till and until the external force act on it. Okay, today we are going to learn about the Newton's second law. Before learning the Newton's second law, we consider some day-to-day life experience. Suppose two girls are running on the road, okay, and one girl is having a weight is less and second girl weight is more. Both are running and task is given to you that stop the girl one by one. So you feel easy when you have to stop the girl whose weight is less, okay, and it is quite difficult to stop the girl whose weight is more, because the motion is also depend upon the inertia, and inertia of the object is more whose weight is more. Okay, second case, in that in many time you experience about the bursting of balloon in the fair. So in that we use green gram. Suppose you try to throw the green gram on the balloon, then maybe balloon is not burst, but same green gram if you put in the gun, then it is easily burst. Okay, so dear student, to understand the force, we have to also understand the mass and velocity. So whenever we want to understand the mass and velocity, then we have to understand about the momentum, because mass and velocity is related with the momentum. Okay, so in study of motion and force, mass and velocity has so much importance. The physical quantity relating the mass and velocity is called the momentum. So momentum is the product of mass and velocity is called the momentum. Momentum we can represent by P equals to mv. Okay, m tends to kilogram and v is meter per second velocity, so it is kilogram into meter per second according to MKS system. According to CGS system, it is kilogram is gram and meter is centimeter. So according to CGS system, unit of momentum is gram into centimeter per second. Momentum is a vector quantity, means it requires the magnitude as well as direction, so it is vector quantity. Its direction is a direction of velocity. Okay, now we are going to learn Newton's second law. Before that, we also focus on one activity. Suppose we have to stop somewhere when we are driving in the car. So two conditions are there. First condition, in that step by step we apply the brake, and second condition, in that we directly apply the brake. Okay, in both the condition, what happen, final velocity will be zero, means somewhere car stop, and the second case also same thing will be there, car will stop after some time. So momentum is same in both the condition, but in the second case what happen, to stop the car we apply more force. Okay, so force is most important. Force and momentum has some relation, and that is given by the Newton's second law. Okay, so the time rate of change in momentum is directly proportional to external force, and direction of momentum is in direction of external force. Simple thing, the change in the force or the force is directly proportional to the change in momentum divided by time. So we can write F is directly proportional to delta P upon T. Okay, here delta indicate that difference in the momentum. Okay, delta indicate difference in the momentum. Proportionality means it is not exactly equals to. Okay, now to understand delta P, we have to understand final momentum and initial momentum. Final momentum means, for this case, when we apply the brake, that is the final momentum, and initially when car is running, then whatever momentum are there, that is called initial momentum. So we can write Pi, initial momentum, equals to m into u. M is the mass of the car and u is the initial velocity of the car. Pf, that is the final momentum, equals to mass of the car and final velocity of the car. Okay, so we can write here F equals to delta P upon T gives F proportional to instead of delta P we are writing PF minus PI. Okay, F proportional to PF minus PI upon T. Now we know that PF is what? PF we have M into V. So instead of PF we are adding M into V. Instead of PI we are adding M into U divided by T. Okay, now MM is common, so F proportional to M V minus U by T. Dear student, we know the definition of acceleration. So A equals to V minus U by T. So instead of V minus U by T we are adding A here. So instead of this quantity we are adding A, so F equals to KMA. For the ideal condition we remove the proportionality. Instead of proportionality we are adding K, and for the ideal condition K equals to 1, so we are adding K equals to 1, so we get equation F equals to MA. So this is the second definition of force. Okay, external force is equal to the product of mass and acceleration. Okay, external force is equal to product of mass and acceleration. First definition is what? The force is directly proportional to the change in the momentum in unit time. Okay, Newton's second law gives the magnitude of the force. Direction of the force is the direction of the momentum. Okay, now we are going to find the what is the unit of the force. Force unit is Newton, so we can write here 1 Newton. Instead of force we are adding Newton. F equals to 1 Newton. M we know mass, that is kilogram, and A we can write meter per second square. So 1 Newton equals to kilogram into meter per second square. So it has two units just now. One is Newton and other is kilogram into meter per second square. So in short we can also say that to produce 1 meter per second square acceleration in 1 kilogram of object we have to apply 1 Newton force. Okay, in student we want to get the unit of force in the CJ system. So we are writing F equals to MA. Mass in the CJ system is gram and acceleration centimeter per second square. Okay, so instead of gram and centimeter per second square we can also write dyne. This is one another unit. 1 Newton equals to kilogram into meter per second square, that is according to the MK system. Now we convert this kilogram and meter into the CJ system. So 1 kilogram equals to 1000 gram and 1 meter equals to 100 centimeter. So as we are writing 1000 gram and 100 centimeter, there are 5 0 are there. So 10 raised to 5 gram into centimeter per second square. We know that gram into centimeter per second square is called dyne. So in another step we can write 10 raised to 5 dyne. So ultimately we can write 1 Newton equals to 10 raised to 5 dyne. So suppose somewhere come ask in the hot type of question, in that you have to remember 1 Newton equals to 10 raised to 5 dyne. Now another physical quantity is important, that is called the impulse of force. Impulse of force is a product of force and time. Okay, product of force and time is called the impulse of force. So I equals to F into T. Now we know that F is what? Force. Force equals to change in momentum in unit time. So we can write F equals to delta P by T. T is cancelled, so I equals to delta P. Means impulse is nothing but, impulse of force is nothing but it is a change in the momentum. So instead of this delta P, we know that change in the momentum is kilogram into meter per second, that is according to MK system, or Newton into second. F is Newton and T is second, so Newton into second. So two unit are there, or you can, if you want to write in the CJ system, then it is a gram into centimeter per second or dyne into second. Like force, impulse of the force is also vector quantity. It depends upon the direction. Direction of impulse of force is same as the direction of force. Okay, dear student, here we consider some activity. Okay, suppose a cricketer are there. Whenever he want to catch the ball, at that time what happen? He will not directly catch it, but he takes his hand backside. So when he take the hand backside, so he increase the contact time between the ball and hand. So whenever he increase the contact time, automatically what is decrease? Force is decrease. So he is easily catch. Okay, suppose he try to directly catch, then it may possible that ball go in the downward direction. Second condition, in that karate player whenever try to break the brick, suppose we try to break the brick, then it may that possible that we hurt so much. But when karate player try to break the brick, at that time he apply maximum force in the minimum time. Here important word is what? Minimum time. Maximum force in the minimum time. So when the time is less, automatically force is maximum. what we are doing mistake, we are applying more force for the maximum time, so there is a chances of injury. But karate player, what they are doing, they apply the maximum force in the minimum time. So karate player, to break the brick, apply maximum momentum in the minimum time. So these in both the example indicate what is called the impulse of force. Okay.